asking the sheriff about what's going on with the crime. You better get concerned with what's going on with the crime. I'm not making an accusation, but what I'm saying is you do these things so that everyone will do their job. And then, folks, we've got to learn to understand that this election is coming up. And as this election come up, there's no telling what's going to happen to us. If you let these two nuts that are running right now, if either one of them get in there, we have major problems. Think about it. And not only think about it, let us do something about it. Madam President.
Lou's right. If you say, well, somebody should do something, and good luck to you, and nobody actually does something, then nothing will change. It's up to us to make sure, because Georgia deserves better, that we elect Democrats. Dr. Marks with our election report.
Okay, this is a big election year. As you came in, you got a yellow card. Please carry this with you at all times so you can let folks know when they need to turn out. Today at 5 o'clock was the last time to register to vote in the presidential preference primary. So the voting for that is going to start a week from today. Early voting will be at the Board of Elections office. They're going to be open the week of February 13th through 17th, and the following week, the 20th to the 24th, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the evening. And then new this year for the first time, Saturday voting on Saturday, February the 25th, from 9 in the morning to 4. That's a step forward. Then the week before the election, a full week, the elections office will be open from 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening, so folks can vote before they go to work or afterwards. And then election day itself will be on Tuesday, March the 6th. The judge sensibly threw out the birther challenge to Barack Obama's being on the ballot. So the only Democrat on the ballot will be our president. Even though nobody else is running, it is vitally important that we go and vote, get our friends to vote, as a show of strength for the president. This state is not the red state that people think it is. It's really, truly a purple state. And we need to let folks know that Democrats are here in Georgia and that we are supportive of President Barack Obama. There's more that you can become involved in. The National Convention is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, the week right after the Labor Day holiday. If you want to be a delegate to the National Convention, folks will be elected on, well, first of all, you have to meet the deadline for running to be a delegate. The deadline for running to be a delegate is March 21st. If you want to be a delegate to the National Convention, go to the State Party website, download the forms for that. It's easy to do, and then file to be a delegate. The actual caucuses will be on Saturday, April the 21st. The caucus for the 1st Congressional District is going to be in Waycross like it was last time. I have not yet heard where the caucus for the 2nd Congressional District is going to be. There'll also be statewide elections as well. It's easier for folks in South Georgia to get elected by the folks in South Georgia who know you. So if you want to run as a delegate, your best chance to do that is at the caucus on April 21st. The yellow card also has the schedule of all of the meetings for the coming year. and the barbecue in July, when we will hear from all of the Democratic candidates. So there's a lot happening. It starts now. So get out, vote for the president, and let's get things rolling. Thank you very much.
Time goes by a lot faster than we think it is. My daughter called me while we were at the barbecue last year in July, and she said, "Oh, Mom, I have an important message, something to tell you. I'm going to get married," and she said it's going to be in February. I thought, "Oh, that's a long time from now. It's next week." So here we are in February. The presidential election is in November. It will be here in no time. We need to be working now. Laverne Gaskins, our qualifying chair, is not here. Let me just say to you, if you know anyone, you have any idea in your head, somebody who would be a good candidate for county commission, Congress, coroner. I mean, there's so many offices open this year to run for. We have a great candidate for sheriff right here. If you know somebody that is interested, has ever thought about running for office, this is the year. Have them talk to Laverne or Dr. Marks or myself. We'll be happy to talk to them about what do you have to do to run for office. When you got your little yellow cards on the back of them, it says Georgia deserves better. And it might say Georgia workers or Georgia seniors or Georgia voters or Georgia students. There's a lot of different groups in our community that deserve better. Just as a little tidbit, Georgia ranks 49th in voter registration. That means we rank number 2 in voter suppression. And we make it really hard in this state to vote. There are a lot of unregistered voters. There are a lot of unregistered Hispanics. There are a lot of unregistered African Americans. We need to go and find those people and register them and make sure they go to vote. So that will be a major project for us this summer. We will also be at the Azalea Festival registering voters. There was a sign-up sheet when you came in. Please sign up for a 2-hour shift to register voters that day. It's not really very hard. You hang around the booth. People come. You say, "Is your voter registration up to date?" It's helpful. So in this whole campaign thing, it's good if we have some experience, and it's good if we get some training. On March the 3rd, Blue Georgia Training Academy will be here in Valdosta to train us on how to canvass, how to phone bank, how to reach out to voters, how to dress for success, how to network in communities where we're already existing, and there'll be candidate training for everything from funding your campaign to, election night and what to do. Yes? March the 3rd, it's a Saturday. I'm working on getting rooms on the Valdosta campus, VSU's campus. We need a large auditorium and some breakout rooms. And the College Democrats are working on getting the number of rooms we need. Don Weigel from the House Democratic Caucus is organizing that for us, and he has a great list of speakers lined up to train us. And for people who have already maybe run for office already one time, there'll be sort of more advanced things, so how you can fine-tune your skills.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
What time?
I don't know. It's going to be all day. I'm going to say like 9 till 4 or something like that. I don't have it finalized. But you will get an email and let you know when it is. Now, the important thing is, this isn't just for the folks that are here in this room. Y'all are our diehards. You come every time, you listen to me prattle on. We need to get all of our volunteers, all those people that helped in 2008, all those people maybe that weren't clued in 2008 now really figured out that, I should be clued in. We need to get those folks there. We should be able to accommodate at least 150 people. So this is real training for all of South Georgia. Brooks County, Lanier, I've been in contact with Cook County. They're reorganizing their party. Berrien had 20 people at their last meeting. So South Georgia is coming alive. We're ready. Now we're going to train ourselves. So that's a big lead up to my friend, Bill Gillespie. Bill ran for Congress 4 years ago against Jack Kingston. He made a valiant effort. He was this way, left and right, north and south, all around the 1st District. He didn't win, which is really sad for us because Jack Kingston does not love us. He doesn't represent us very well. Bill has most recently run for the Savannah City Council, and he's going to tell us about running a campaign, some things that we should know as candidates, and things we should know as a volunteer. Bill.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to be back and see all my old friends. And this is the first time I've been back here in 4 years. And I took advantage of the opportunity to stay at the Quartermans tonight. And I had a blast. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I drove to Andersonville Prison and walked around for a couple hours because that's one thing I had never done. And then I realized that we weren't very far from Jimmy Carter's Plains, Georgia, so I spent a couple hours walking around Plains, Georgia. And then I'm here. And it's great to see all my old friends. Elliot, you look younger. Dennis, you look younger. So something must be going on right down here. In Americus, not that far away, it was almost freezing sleet, and it rained all day. And here, I pull into town, and it's 70 and blue skies. So you had the best weather in Georgia. Well, now, I want to talk to you, and I don't want to lecture. I don't want to preach. I want it to be interactive. So please ask questions at any time. I'm talking about how to be a candidate, how to help candidates. If we have anybody here who thinks of a good candidate, focus that on them. But you're all going to have to volunteer. You are unique. Only 15% of the American population gets involved in politics, and only 1% of the American population donates to politics. It's minuscule, so it's an uphill battle. Our congressional district's huge, 25 counties. What's that?
We're in the 8th now.
Oh, you're in the 8th. Okay, all right. So it got split. I had spent the last 4 years grooming myself to run for city council in Savannah, and wasn't going to do anything contentious. Savannah's very democratic, has a strong Democrat party and an old tradition, and there was going to be an open seat. And I figured, what best than an open seat? So I spent 4 years joining everything, visiting everything, setting myself up, and I lost. I lost by 0.4%, probably 100 votes out of a city of 65,000 voted, a city of 140 people. So I ran a good campaign. I feel good. I've learned a bunch of things. And so let's talk about some of that stuff. I think the dumbest thing that you can do is just run a body. But the only thing dumber than just running a body is not running anybody. Okay? So you got to have somebody who has a niche. Why the heck did I run for Congress? Well, I had just come back from the war in Iraq. I was a retired Army colonel, and I came from Liberty County and went to war with Fort Stewart. And you know what? That meant something. I won Liberty County. I mean, so there was something to that. I had a niche. Somebody has to have some kind of little niche that they can talk about. I think that makes sense. They got to have the passion. All right? They have to have the experience. They have to have some connections. But, there's nothing wrong with getting a smart person and growing the bench. In Savannah, I think the average politician from state, county, city is 60. That's 14 years older than me. George and I were talking. It's Lowndes County's young, vibrant. Wouldn't it be great to have people running in their early 30s? I mean, that should be our target. So, if we don't have the perfect person, then maybe we need to groom people. So I think that's when we know that we're having an uphill battle, I think we really need to look towards the future. Now, you got size, scale, scope, environment, cycle. If you got an empty seat, man, that is amazing. But probably we want to run somebody in every race against a Republican. That is a valid goal. Okay? So then we need to look at that. And, the cost, the time to that person. I don't know if you guys realized that when I ran for Congress, I did it as a full-time job for 18 months. And I had 6 people on a paid staff. Who can afford that? I mean, it probably cost me $65,000 of my own money, but 18 months of my own time, and my brand new car out there has 85,000 miles on it from going all over the district. So you're going to have to find a unique person. In the aldermanic race that I just ran for, we spent $47,000. $25,000 of it was my own money. The mayoral race was a $100,000 race. The typical aldermanic race was probably $30,000. So somebody is going to have to put up a little bit of money. You know how much politicians get paid? Not a lot for city council, not a lot for the county commission, a little more for sheriff, those kind of things. So you're going to have to get involved. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but it costs a fortune to run. What do you think you spend? What does a candidate spend most of their money on? We got advertising, which is anything from a website to handouts to bulletin boards to TV, signs. Signs cost a fortune. Handouts cost a fortune. You get some people that really don't know what they're doing, and they design a sign that has 3 beautiful colors, where you just ran the bill up probably 300%. People starting out 100 signs, little yard signs, would cost $700 in one color. They would cost $1,200 in 3 colors. So you learn little things. So what do we got to do the most thing to help these kind of people out? We need volunteers. Can anybody that you think of that's going to run for one of these positions afford to pay a staff? Probably not. But then when you find that it's much more of a challenge and much more of a harder environment than you ever thought, and you now have somebody working full-time for you 60 hours a week, what do you want to do to that person? Being a good Democrat, you want to pay them. You want to compensate them for some kind of thing. I didn't start out wanting to have a large staff that I had to pay, but I ended up realizing that I needed full-time employees to make things happen. What's the difference between a paid canvasser and a paid employee and a volunteer? You're going to find 1 or 2 really good supporters that go out of their way and give you 110% and act like a paid staff member. That is not normal. You cannot get people motivated day in and day out unless you pay them. Liberty County. I didn't have a lot of money. I was going to have to pay people to wave signs. I was going to have to pay people to go out and talk about me at churches. And I had to pay people to get out the vote. I probably paid $2,500 the last week to a couple people to do that. And I won. But I wasn't able to do that at any other place. So those paid people are much more accountable and show back up and do exactly what you think they're going to do. What does the candidate really need to have? Shouldn't the candidate first have an exploratory kind of campaign? What would an exploratory campaign do? Anybody that was thinking about running should have probably already been in an exploratory mode. They're out on a listening tour, right? Am I viable? Is it realistic? What are the issues out there? So anybody needs to have an exploratory period where they're out on a listening tour. And that's when they have to find all these key people. And hopefully they made contact with all the local politicians, the organizations, the churches, the business leaders, the neighborhood associations. So you really got to get out there and make those contacts. That's probably the most time consuming. You're going to be going to 2 or 3 events, calling people on the phone, or you're not going to resonate. You're not going to be really a legitimate candidate. And then you got to come up with some issues, right? Well, people can remember 3 issues. And I would challenge anybody, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, the issues should probably be the same. Number 1 is the economy. And that's jobs to job security to, it can encompass immigration. It can encompass competition. How about infrastructure? Who wouldn't want infrastructure in their top 3? And public safety is fire and police, right? And crime. Every once in a while you need to add in education, but really, if you understand politics, how much can the politician do? Because unless you're on the Board of Education. I mean, it's really a stovepipe. You can be a champion and advocate, and we want business to work together with our, educators but really, when you're city council and county commission, you have a very limited role in the Board of Education. And then you need those 3 issues. And how are you going to communicate them? You need a minimum website. Could every single one of you do a website? It is so easy now. You got to be able to have a simple website. So the website needs to be static. Once you get it right, these are my issues. I just finished my listening tour. These are my 3 big issues. And for all future conversations, updates, defer to my what?